problems with one another. And this does not solve when you are discussing your problem with your friend, or your friend is discussing with you. In 99% cases, the problem does not solve. Instead, they accumulate, and through permutation and combination, it becomes more complicated. This is collective. Then the cosmic unconsciousness, this is like a virus. When there is a particular virus breaks into the city and your immune system is weak, it will affect you. You are watching a television show and a particular scene comes in, it triggers something within you. All of a sudden you get angry just watching that particular scene on the television screen. Cosmic unconsciousness. Meditation is the process to understand the nature of these, and slowly, in that understanding, these layers begin to break. So the easiest way of doing that is start hammering the solar plexus. For that we use the kalma Allahu, Allahu, Allahu. When you use these two words Allahu, the force goes onto the solar plexus. When we are given the zikr by the Shaykh, we are asked to do the zarab, means the force. You are releasing the air onto the solar plexus. It is the hammering. And in that hammering, many emotions are released. But you remember that this is one aspect and that is not complete in itself. So you have to make your body alive again, and it is the breathing that makes your body alive. When you go into chaotic breathing, through that, whatsoever is deep within, hidden, and it has gone into your subconscious layers of the mind, begins to surface. Just as when you take a piece of stone and throw in the tranquil water of the river, waves begin to arise. What Gurdjieff used to do, he is sitting down, all of a sudden door opens and someone flutters in. Gurdjieff will look at the person, will make faces or do some unusual things. If you are coming in and I look at you and start making faces at you, that will make you very uncomfortable. Why is this man doing this kind of gesture at me? This way, he is connecting to the subconscious and unconscious layers of the person. The person begins to feel fidgety within. And that was the unique way of Gurdjieff to connect to the subconscious and unconscious layers of the person. When you go into chaotic breathing, it surfaces from deep within all those putrefied emotions and all that has been suppressed into you. Then these has to be removed from your system through the process of catharsis. Negatives are being released from your system. The positive has to come in. Then hammering the solar plexus makes the solar plexus or your dantian or hara more and more flexible and ready to connect to the source. the percussion instruments, that is the centers below the solar plexus and the solar plexus, are tuned in to one another. The two parts of the musical instruments of your body are now tuned into one another. Then you move to the other centers. The heart center, the heart center is tuned in partly when the solar plexus and the percussion instrument and the bellow instruments are tuned in. Then the wind instrument. It connects the two centers. The throat center and your heart center. Because heart center is in the chest area, and when you breathe in, a long breath and a control of the breath is very necessary to blow through the reed in order to create the sound, to tune in and create the sound. And then in the ultimate analysis, the stringed instrument. And when all these instruments are in tune with one another, body becomes a rhythm. The doubt begins to leave their ground. Otherwise, as such as you are the subject of doubt, you are the object of doubt, and you are the process of doubt as well. You say deep within, I move into myself. In the moments of meditation, and more alone I feel, I am alone. If you have really been moving to the deeper recesses of your being, you will feel aloneness. But remember, that feeling of aloneness never gives the feeling that I am alone. These are the two separate things, I and aloneness. The two do not exist. Then you are not alone because there is an experiencer, there is the experienced, the observer and observed. Then you are not alone. The other is there, the experience becomes the other. When you really fall deep within you, as happened this morning when we kept our mouths slightly open and we got relaxed into solar plexus, get connected to that center, you start going deep within yourself, then the doubt disintegrates. You will not find yourself. That is the whole thing to understand and remember. It is only on the surface the waves exist. If you go deeper into the womb of the ocean, you will not find the waves. So what has happened this morning, as you had kept the mouth slightly open, the breathing reaches naturally to the solar plexus. If you had put your hand on the solar plexus, you will see a slight movement. And that is the way to relax whenever you have an opportunity. And if you use this technique of meditation, you will get more and more relaxed. The more relaxed you are, the doubts and other things will begin to disintegrate. How can you find the waves in the depth of the ocean? Waves exist only on the surface. And the moment you are connected to your solar plexus, you are in tune with it. You have gone deep within you. These waves of emotions and disturbance begins to disappear. The waves exist only on the surface and they need a wind to exist. A wave arises as a result of interaction between wind and the sea water. The eye can exist only on the surface because it needs the other. The wind of Tao is needed, the wind of the other is needed for I to exist. If I disappears, you will automatically disappear. When you go deeper into yourself, the winds are no longer there. The other is no longer there. How can there be I then? I and Thou exist in pairs. They are never divorced, always stay together. Yes, you will definitely find aloneness, but not I-ness. And aloneness is beautiful. Let me remind you again, the word alone encompasses all one. If you separate ALONE, all one, that is how this word is constructed, all one. On the surface you are separate from all. In fact, on the surface you are lonely because you are separate from all. However, in the depth of the ocean, in the deep recess, when you have disappeared, there is no distraction, no distinction between you and all. All is one. You are no longer, only aloneness exists. If you have really known, or the world emerge out of your being, not out of your mind, you can never say, the deeper I fall into my being, the more alone I feel. You must be imagining that you are falling deeper into yourself. The mind can go on playing the games. It can play the game of being alone. It can play the game of being in prayer. It can play the game of being in meditation. But if I-ness remains, then you can be certain that it is a game, nothing real has happened. That is the reason again and again the desire for the other will arise in you. I is a word, while I-ness is the intrinsic quality. It is the quality of I. I can even exist without this intrinsic quality. However, the inner quality of I-ness cannot exist on its own without the support of I. Also, I cannot exist alone. It must need the other. The other to support it, to feed it and to nourish it. It will bring back the other. That is why when you are lonely, you start thinking of your beloved, your friend, your mother, your father, this and that. 1,001 things come and you create an imaginary others. If a man is put in isolation for more than 3 weeks, he starts talking to himself. He creates the whole dialogue. He himself is divided into two, I and thou. He becomes two so the game can be played. I cannot exist without thou or the other. Then you are bound to say, deeper I fall into my